Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to week 6. We're moving along very briskly, as I know a lot of you have found out, but that's just the way the summer is. We're going to take a look at a couple of chapters again this week. Chapter 9. We're starting to look at a different area of, we're trying to find what's best for you? What's going to make you the most healthy? Chapter 9 deals with nutrition, how you eat, eating for a healthier you. Now, I know that on television we hear all these different diets. I know you've been listening to Nutrisystem. You don't hear about Atkins anymore, but there are different versions of that. We've got paleo. We've got, there was the low-fat diet, all those sorts of things are out there, and they're bombarding us. So, what's good for us? It's right now you've got this big push to not eat any breads of any type. You've got this mentality that's out there that you should stay away from anything that, gluten-free. That's the buzzword, gluten-free. Gluten-free is just for those that have a diet that have celiac disease and have a sensitivity to glutens. Not many people, very, very small percentage of people should be on this diet. But it's the hottest thing right now so far, and the companies are rising to the occasion. You're seeing more and more products out there on the market that say gluten-free. I remember not too long ago, it was fat-free. It's like studies have shown, to give you an example of for gluten-free, if you're not eating any whole grains, in fact, studies have shown that you need to have it 2.5 servings of whole grains per day can actually reduce your cardiovascular disease risk by as much as 21%. Well, now do you believe that? The thing is that they also did another study that they're showing that there's only 8% of the people out there actually follow this suggestion. And they're 42% of the folks, they don't consume any whole grains at all. Okay, if you're like me, I've dieted off and on all my life. You've heard of the yo-yo dieting where I'll diet, I'll lose weight, then I end up gaining weight back plus some. I'm guilty of that. It's like I want to try the newest diet out there. What is available. This chapter goes over a lot of them. Right now, my wife's on this kick to only use coconut oil when she cooks. Is that better for you? What about butter? What about cooking with that? Whole butter. What about margarine? Okay, we look at that in this chapter 9. It also looks at a lot of the dietary guidelines for Americans and what we should eat. Some different ideas on how to diet and what is a healthy diet. So in this chapter, you're going to have there's one quiz, and that's really all. Now, make sure that you look at the clicker questions, the game questions, all of that. I've also given you a discussion question on GMO foods. Now, if you're like me, I kind of knew what it was, but this chapter really goes into it. There are some really big advantages to these types of foods, but there could be some disadvantages. Look it up, read this chapter. It's good. Why are these types of foods good for us? And we're going to discuss that as one of our questions. Also, too, Chapter 10, this is when we're looking at maybe how to have a balanced diet. What is your body mass index? All these, we've looked at some of our, look at stereotypes. For instance, back in my day, Clint Eastwood, You know, we all kind of wanted to look like him. He was tall and thin, but these days, what do y'all call it? Dad bod or something like that. Now, if you were to look at any men on television that they're leading or the leading actors, they're going to all be chiseled, cut really strong. Some of us can never do that even if we wanted to. You look at the women. You know, back in the early, 50s, Marilyn Monroe was the perfect woman. Today's standards should be fat, okay? Today's standards, the magazines are trying to get us to believe that all women should look like stick figures, no figures at all. That's not possible for a lot of people. There's a lot of psychological and also socioeconomical factors and environmental factors that affect, how we choose our foods. Studies have found out that the socioeconomical status of people have a lot to do with the kind of foods they eat. How many people actually get to eat fresh vegetables and fresh fruits? So not too long ago, I remember, and some of you probably did too, that show Biggest Losers, I think is what it was called. And all these people lost tons of weight. But if you would go back and look at those folks now, most of them have gained just about all of their weight back. So these diet programs, people make big money just selling their books because everybody wants to try the latest and the greatest and the fastest way to lose weight. Look at it, good chapter. There's actually 2 parts to it, that was chapter 10, and then they have a little segment that goes along with it, and I'm going to call it 10A, and that's enhancing your body image. And that's kind of what I was talking about how do you view yourself? Do you hate your body? I've heard so many people, I hate the way I look. It's like I wish now that I was the same weight when I first thought I was fat. I'd love to go back to that weight. But as we age, or when you're young, you think, okay, gosh, summer's here. I've got to starve myself to get into that bathing suit. What is healthy? What does look good? Look at all the things that influence us. Are we too short? Are we too tall? Is our hair pretty? Is it too long, or do you not have any hair? What are these things? How does it make you feel? And there's actually here, you can change this behavior. There are 10 steps to a positive body image, and it actually lets you show an appreciation for your body. You'd be a lot happier. Okay, this chapter, like I said, there are 2 quizzes, and I believe there is a test, if I'm not badly wrong. And all of this is going to be due Sunday at 11:59, like it always is. I'm going to be out of town this week in Tulsa. Hopefully it's not too hot for the plane to land. I've heard that in Phoenix. So hopefully in Tucson it's not that bad. But I'm going there for a respiratory teachers convention. But I will be checking my email, so if you have any questions, make sure you put them in the course messages, and I'll try to get back with you as soon as I can. Anyway, have a happy week, and I will see you soon. Bye.